Hello, my name is Lizzie. Each week I'm bringing along a different origami fold, and I'm doing this to encourage you to take some time out for yourself, to take time to just focus on something completely different. And paper has amazing properties. It allows you to obviously to draw on, to write on, but you can also fold and create beautiful structures. And this is an art form that will really concentrate your mind and allow you to create something astonishing from a flat piece of paper. So I've been learning more and more, and I hope that this will give you a lovely break. You may just watch, or you may hopefully join me each time I demonstrate with an A4 piece of paper. Each of these films are dedicated to my colleagues at UCLH, staff there to take some time out. But this is for everyone during this time. It's a lot more isolated, more anxious, and I think origami is a very powerful tool for well-being. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. Last week I brought along quite a complicated fold to make a daisy, so I thought this week we should go for a bit of a treat. Keep it simple and keep it fun. And I'm bringing along something called a water bomb or a paper balloon. You may well have done this as a child. I never did actually, but I have to say this looks a brilliant thing to have done as a child, and I'll explain that you can fill these things as well with water. Only do that outside and you can chuck them as well, or else you can keep them as nice little paper balloons. So I'm going to show and explain how to do this, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So it's quite a short fold this time and quite simple, so enjoy the simplicity, but it's a beautiful piece of engineering. I rather like decorating some paper, so I recommend if you've got any pens or pencils, get them out. I'll decorate mine as well, just to show that you can make something then really unique. And I love as well seeing how it transforms the patterns into something else as well once it's folded. So I'm just grabbing some paper, a board. It's good to have somewhere that you can press on, and I will direct this down. Now each time I'm going to show you how to fold from a normal piece of paper. Maybe you've got A4 paper or letter paper, and if you simply take the corner, bring it over to make a nice straight line. I'll show you each time I do a fold this, but we start from the basics, and if you start well, continues well, start badly, it gets worse and worse. So do take your time. And I'm also using good strong folds because that's what gives it the strength. So there we go, I've done that nice and lined up. We need to get rid of this rectangle. So to do this, I turn it round and then bring it back. So on Wednesdays, I also do live folds at 2. And that's quite fun because you can then be there with other people. And then with messages and things, it feels very kind of lively. There we go. Good strong fold. And if you've done a good strong fold, then you should also be able to just simply tear it off. Quite satisfying in itself. Right, I reckon we should do a little bit of decoration. So if you open it up, turn it over, and it's this outside. You can see that the folds on the outside there. So I'm going to do some quick kind of swirl. I should use a blue pen there. For some reason I'm thinking of a water bomb, so I feel like doing some quite dynamic marks, but there's no real right or wrong. It's just rather interesting to see how it will transform. Makes it a little bit more unique. Maybe you might write words or patterns, doodle, dots, symbols, whatever you feel like. I find this quite fun. So you can keep them as little balloons, and they're inflated through your own breath actually. So obviously it's just something for you, and you might have noticed on the ones that I've been making that there's because I'm wearing some lipstick, that comes off too, but it's a good reminder that you've had that contact with it, so it's just for you obviously. Maybe just one more mark. Can't resist a little bit of colour. There we go, I've made my own very unique paper. So our next step is we've done one diagonal fold. We're going to do the other diagonal. So take your time and fold it over like so. Here we go. Open it up, and if you turn it over, so we're again on the colourful side, and we're going to do a horizontal and a vertical. There we go. there's not too many folds in this. As I say, you may know it already. Not one that I've done before, but I really like it. It's beautiful. You could also do it with newspaper, much bigger apparently. People do that in Japan. So you can make a bigger kind of paper balloon. So if you open it up now, if you put your finger underneath the middle of that, it should pop up and it forms a nice sort of tent structure. So now you should very easily be able to fold it up to make a nice triangle. Now our first step here is to take the side and fold it up to the top. Now if you've joined me making a butterfly before, it really does start off the same. So you could choose to make a butterfly at this point, but we're not going to do that this week. Bring this up to the top, like so. There we go. So it should look like this. Now turn to the other side and we're going to do the same thing again. So take the tips and bring it up to the top. And this is a traditional piece of origami. So from Japan. And I guess playing with children. But we never quite fully grow up. And it requires quite a bit of skill. So it does also require, I think, adults to be involved in these things. And we pass it on one to another. So our next step, I could maybe lift it up now actually, is on these sides which have got these flaps, I want you to take the edge and fold it into the middle. I guess you're kind of judging where the middle is, but about the middle there. And if we do the same on the other side, so it meets. So if I can do this in the air, you will see. Maybe I should bring it down to the board again. There we go. So that they meet there. There we go. And then turn to the back and it's the same thing. So these are the sides which have got these loose little flaps, but it's all going to be useful. It's all going to be an amazing piece of engineering. So again, bringing that to the middle. Like so. So it meets. And our next step is these little flaps. We're going to take it and twist it round and put it into, there's a little, can you see there's a little pocket there? So it's very clever. We're going to take this and poke it down there. Now it sort of feels like it ought to go all the way. It won't go completely all the way, and that's fine. That's just how it is. So taking this and I'm going to push it in as far as it will go. Can you see? Go in a bit more. And this is because we're going to do everything, of course, without glue. So it all needs to lock into each other. Once you get pockets of the piece of paper, you can start building up more and more things. There we go. So you can see it doesn't go all the way in. That's fine, that's how it is. So this one, again, there's a little pocket. So you might want to open up the pocket a bit, take the tip and then push it in. And again, it takes a little bit of patience, but you're aiming to tuck it all the way in. That one went a lot more easily than the other one, I have to say. There we go. Turn it to the other side. And again, it's the same thing. Take your corner, push it in all the way to where it's neatly gone in there. And it will always leave this little shape there. It's a rather pleasing shape. I rather like how the patterns have changed. It all feels as if it comes together somehow when you're folding it. Changes the pattern so it looks nice. There we go. Pushing that in. Now that's it. We have done the folding. Next we need to expand it. So at the other end, can you see this end? There is a little hole. There's a little hole there. So, and I do recommend doing it on a reasonable size piece of paper. So this was an A4 piece of paper or letter paper, or you can go bigger, maybe even with a piece of newspaper. So to open it, it's quite fun. You're going to blow into that hole. Obviously, you should only touch your piece of paper because of that contact, and this should only be for you as well. So although I probably will end up with some lipstick marks, that's all right. I quite like that it's labelled as mine. So I'm going to try blowing in. We'll see what happens. Here goes, 1, 2, 3. It should start to expand it, she says. It semi-started to expand it. So you can also start pulling out the sides. The thinner the paper, the easier that will work. Can you see it has left some marks, but I rather like the colour. And then the other end, you again, if you take the corners, you can just very gently pull it out, but you don't want to unravel it either. There we go. It varies a bit how much expands. It didn't expand that well with the breath, but it will do at times. And it starts off that process. So can you see it's sort of become a cube to some extent. And that is your paper balloon. Now, if you're feeling very daring, but please only do this outside, you could take a little bottle or jug of water and you could pour it into that hole and then you could throw it. Which sounds quite fun. So I thought this could be a fun one for the summer. Maybe if it gets hot at some point, this might be a good thing to play with outside. Don't cause too much mischief. But I hope you'll enjoy that. So yeah, do make some paper balloons. If you want to share some pictures as well, I'd love to see the balloons that you make, what patterns you create as well. I hope it was fun to do something a little bit simpler as well. Take care. Bye-bye.